Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 songs that were controversial enough to be banned or censored in one way or another. Number 20, My Generation, The Who.
People try to put us down, just because talking about my generation.
It should come as no surprise that a song called My Generation that actively attacked modern day values was banned in the 1960s. Networks had a habit of doing this at the time, but the main surprise here is the exact reason why it was banned. Funnily enough, it wasn't the lyrics that got The Who in hot water, or at least not really.
Don't try and dig what we all talking about my generation. Trying to cause talking about my generation.
Instead, the ban stemmed from the decision Roger Daltrey made to stutter his way through some of the lyrics, which the BBC thought would be offensive to people with legitimate speech impediments. On the long list of bizarre reasons to put a song on ice, this one has to be close to the top. Number 19, Splish Splash, Bobby Darin.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath.
Splish Splash by Bobby Darin is a truly harmless song about a guy who gets out of a bath and joins a party that is going on in his house. Seems innocent enough, right? Well, unfortunately, the song only mentions him putting a towel on to hide his modesty, and at no point does he clothe himself fully.
Well, I stepped out the tub, I put my feet on the floor, I wrapped the towel around it and I opened the door and
Somehow, this was enough to get the song banned by a handful of stations in North America. This depiction of partial nudity was deemed to be inappropriate for mass audiences, which is frankly hilarious by modern standards. Was an impressionable kid ever corrupted by hearing Darin's Splish Splash? Well, guess we'll never know.
bing bang, I saw the whole gang.
Number 18, Atomic, Blondie. Sometimes a single word is enough to get a song blacklisted. For Blondie's Atomic, timing was the main issue. Despite the song having no real mention of war or violence, its title alone forced the BBC to ban it. The network was incredibly sensitive at the time to songs that had a vague reference to war, and for that reason, Atomic was canned. It was one of 67 songs that they decided to put to one side, even though it had already been released for 11 years. Needless to say, the ban only lasted as long as the war itself, and these days, the track has returned to airplay. Number 17, Tell Laura I Love Her, Ray Peterson.
Join me in greeting Mr. Ray Peterson.
Ray Peterson's track, Tell Laura I Love Her, is a tragic tale, telling the story of a young couple who are ripped apart when a stock car race ends up killing one of them. It's presented as a narrative that culminates in the death of a young lover and his dying wish to remind his partner that he loves her.
Tell Laura I love her. Tell Laura I need her.
The BBC decided that the song glorified reckless driving, and decided to ban it so impressionable youths wouldn't end up impersonating the song's doomed protagonist. Seriously, that's an all-timer when it comes to hilariously tone-deaf reasons to resort to censorship.
My love for her will never die.
Number 16, This Note's for You, Neil Young.
This note's for you.
Neil Young well and truly went on the offensive with 1988's This Note's for You, taking shots at corporatized rock and roll. He didn't pull any punches with the music video either, taking shots at Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and both Pepsi and Coke.
Ain't singing for Pepsi. Ain't singing for Coke.
Jackson's lawyers were so angered by the song's depiction of MJ's hair catching fire that they threatened legal action if it wasn't removed. In the end, their threat worked, and the song was briefly pulled, although MTV eventually reversed their decision and the song received heavy rotation from there onwards.
This note's for you.
Number 15. Let's Spend the Night Together, The Rolling Stones. Off the top of our head, we can name about 50 song titles that are more offensive than Let's Spend the Night Together. That didn't stop Ed Sullivan himself taking issue with it at the 11th hour, calling on the British band to change the words to Let's Spend Some Time Together. The implication that a man and a woman might ever consider spending some time alone together overnight was clearly too much for Sullivan to handle. Would the world be a different place if Jagger hadn't been forced to sing Sometime instead of The Night? Who knows? Perhaps Sullivan prevented total mayhem, but probably not.
Thank you! Alright, Sullivan!
Number 14. Lola, The Kinks. The edgy subject matter of the Kinks song Lola might be the first thing that springs to mind when you think of bannable offences. However, the truth is a lot simpler. The issue wasn't the song's lyrics or overall message. Instead, it was the use of the brand name Coca-Cola.
Where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. C-O-L-A-Cola.
The usual suspects, the BBC, refused to play the song under any circumstances until something was done about the offending lyric. Ray Davies had a quick fix though and flew back to Britain to change the lyric to the far less specific Cherry Cola. Number 13. Street Fighting Man, The Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones never shied away from being openly provocative if the occasion called for it. We're sure they were at least a little proud of the fact that their classic track, Street Fighting Man, was banned by the Chicago mayor during the Democratic National Convention. There were fears that the song would incite violence due to its lyrical content and aggressive vibe. Talk about having faith in your own voters' intelligence, eh? Thankfully, the song was never pulled from radio stations for the same reason, making it easily accessible to millions in the late 60s. Number 12. Rock Around the Clock, Bill Haley and His Comets.
10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, a rock, we're gonna rock.
Rock Around the Clock is not the first song that springs to mind when you think of inflammatory music, but its inclusion in the legendary 1955 film Blackboard Jungle was a big deal. Not only was it the first example of a Hollywood movie utilizing a popular rock and roll song in its soundtrack, it was also banned in several cities and countries.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
The film's depiction of juvenile delinquency led to riots in certain theaters. On the flip side, the use of the Bill Haley and His Comics track led to rock and roll reaching a new mainstream audience during a pivotal point in history. Number 11. Puff the Magic Dragon, Peter, Paul and Mary.
The next guests of ours certainly qualify as the top folk group in America. They are Peter, Paul and Mary.
If Puff the Magic Dragon had been written by any of their contemporaries, there might have been some truth to the rumours that it really referenced drug use. However, Peter, Paul and Mary seemed to be genuinely shocked that people thought that this innocent track about the loss of childhood innocence was about anything other than a magic dragon.
Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea.
The song was totally banned in Singapore in 1963, after the powers that be were convinced that it was one big innuendo. Right up until his death in 2025, Peter Yarrow never changed his story. The song was about exactly what its title claims it is.
Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail.
Number 10. Physical, Olivia Newton-John.
Let's get physical. I wanna get physical.
The idea of anyone getting too physical was way too much for radio stations to handle, and so banning Olivia Newton-John's Physical was their natural response. The music was definitely on the edgy side, but it was the specific lyric, "Let me hear your body talk," that caused so much controversy.
Oh, let me body talk. Body talk. Let me body
By all accounts, they also weren't overly fond on the line, "There's nothing left to talk about unless it's horizontally." The song went on to be a smash hit for Newton-John, regardless, and remains one of her most enduring hits to this day. Number 9, God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols. For as much as the Sex Pistols' Anarchy in the UK could have gotten our pick, we couldn't help but side with their classic track God Save the Queen. There should be no confusion over why a song attacking the British monarchy got banned in England, of course. However, the song was singled out for censorship in a particularly vibrant time for British punk. All in all, banning God Save the Queen ended up just proving Johnny Rotten and Company's point. The song remains a favourite within the Sex Pistols catalogue, and it's not hard to see why. Number 8, Come Together, The Beatles.
And loved here in America, here are the Beatles!
Out of all the Beatles songs that ended up getting banned from the radio in the 60s, no song was outlawed for a more ridiculous reason than Come Together. The band were no strangers to ruffling a few feathers in their heyday, but despite having more than a few songs about risque topics, Come Together was a little different.
Monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you know me.
As did the Kinks' Lola, the song references Coca-Cola. As a result, the BBC declared that it went against guidelines and constituted an advertisement. It's not like John Lennon was screaming at people to drink Coke in the chorus or anything, but even a passing mention was enough to bring the axe down.
Got to be good looking 'cause he's so hard to see.
Number 7, Fairytale of New York, The Pogues featuring Kirsty MacColl.
Came in late into one. I've got a feeling.
The debate over the censorship of Fairytale of New York rages on to this day, with one line of lyrics being the point of contention. The song was a huge hit for the Pogues, but there is a section in the song where Kirsty MacColl is hurling insults at Shane MacGowan, and one slur in particular hasn't aged overly well.
You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more.
The song wasn't outright banned, but in 2020, the BBC played a version of the tune with the offending line removed. MacGowan himself defended the lyric, claiming that the song was supposed to portray flawed people, not angels. Number 6, I Want to Break Free, Queen.
I want to break free.
Queen certainly knew a thing or two about provoking their audience. Their music video for I Want to Break Free never tried to hide its intentions, showcasing the band in drag performing the song. As you might expect, this sparked outrage from conservative viewers, and according to Roger Taylor, it was banned by MTV. Supposedly, it promoted cross-dressing a little too openly for the company's executives, and as a result, this legendary video was shelved. In reality, the video was intended as nothing more than a bit of fun, a way for Freddie Mercury and co. to show off their playful side, but clearly, some people didn't see it that way.
I want to break free from your lies, you're so self-satisfied, I don't need you.
Number 5, The Pill, Loretta Lynn.
You and me and dine me when I was your girl.
Loretta Lynn was a trailblazer, and the very frank and honest discussion about birth control she had on The Pill was way ahead of its time. One look at the song's lyrics will tell you exactly why it was a problem. Many conservative stations had absolutely no desire whatsoever to hear a woman speaking about the empowerment she felt over making her own reproductive choices.
I'm tearing down your brooder house, 'cause now I've got the pill.
For that reason, many DJs flat out refused to give the song any airplay. That didn't stop it from becoming her highest selling single up to that point, and it even went on to number 1 on Canada's country chart.
This old maternity dress I've got is going in the garbage.
Number 4, Rumble, Link Wray. Link Wray's Rumble may have been the first instrumental track to be banned from major radios, a distinction we're certain he must be extremely proud of. The title alludes to a slang term of a fight, sure, but one spin of this song is enough to make it clear that the censors just didn't like the track's tone. Rumble sounds like a bar fight waiting to happen, painting a smoky and somewhat seedy dive without the use of a single lyric. If that's not masterful songwriting, then we don't know what is. It's an all-time great rock and roll classic. Number 3, Walk Like an Egyptian, The Bangles. Walk Like an Egyptian put the Bangles on the map in many ways, so we doubt they ever imagined their song would get banned years after it initially came out. First, it was concerns over the track's sensitivity during the Persian Gulf War that led to it getting banned in 1991.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Then, after the tragic events of September 11, 2001, the song was taken out of rotation once again, this time over fears that it might increase tensions with the Middle East. Of course, it was far from the only track to get blacklisted during that period, but the reasons certainly stand out. Number 2, Imagine, John Lennon.
Imagine no possession.
Imagine is John Lennon's signature solo recording, a track that has been covered and referenced endlessly since its release. However, following the events of 9/11, its lyrics were deemed to be questionable by the Clear Channel Communications Network. Supposedly, its anti-nationalist, anti-religion, and anti-war message was the last thing the American public needed to hear.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
They seem to ignore the song's overarching call for unity and a fairer society, and so the track was taken off of turntables for a while. Some people will just choose to see the negative in everything.
Imagine all the people.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Waterloo, ABBA. In the middle of the Gulf War, the BBC decided to get very liberal with their outlawing of songs, choosing to bring the hammer down on anything that made even the most vague reference to war. Waterloo by ABBA is one of the most inoffensive songs of the 67 chosen, with its issue of the Battle of Waterloo as a metaphor for a relationship going too far, according to the censors. To this day, it remains one of the most innocent songs to have ever been branded as controversial or potentially damaging to the public. Somehow, this fact succeeds in making us love the song even more. So, what previously banned song springs to your mind first when the question is posed? Let us know in the comments below.